Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to open and refill your Pax Era Pods. Well, they made these much harder to get off than the last time I did it. So these are 1 gram pods instead of the half-gram pods. Opening the Pax Era Pod is pretty simple. You just need to wiggle the tip off. So slightly pull and wiggle it and it'll slowly come loose. You do need to apply quite a bit of force. Just kind of wiggle back and forth and pull at the same time. If you're having trouble, you can take a thin piece of metal and get it in there underneath. Well, they made these much harder to get off than the last time I did it. Alright, to remove the top of the Pax Era Pod, you can just get some tweezers, grab it near the base, and kind of wiggle and pull. There you go. So I snapped the top off pretty cleanly. And you're left with this portion. Now what you want to do is remove the silicone plug. You can just grab that with the tweezers as well and yank it out. Now we're just going to fill through this port and then you can go ahead and put the top back on and you'll be good to go. You can try and stuff this rubber bit back into the hole here. Success might vary on that though. So I'll show you how to fill these now. I'm just gonna mix some oil and I'll fill it up. All right, so first step to filling the vape pod obviously is making your THC Vape Oil. So I'm going to be using some THC distillate, mixing it with some minor cannabinoids, and adding some terpenes to add flavor, effect, and help liquefy the whole thing. So the first step is get a hot plate and bring it to about 150 degrees Fahrenheit so you can mix all of your ingredients together. Start by adding distillate to my jar here. This distillate's quite thick and hard to work with. So one trick you can do is heat up your spoon or whatever instrument you're using to scoop it from, and that'll make it easier to slide through. So I have a heat gun here for that purpose. So now I can just easily scoop out the distillate with the hot tool. So here I have a nice glob of distillate. About 9.5 grams. Next I'm going to add in just some other cannabinoids such as CBG, CBN, CBD. I like to do this to give it a more full spectrum effect, but this is completely optional. Basically you just need THC distillate and some terpenes. Alright, so now I have a total of 11.644 grams of cannabinoids. So I'm going to add a total of 3% terpenes to this. So I just need to calculate that real quick. Alright, so a 3% ratio of terpenes will be 0.43 ml. I have a glass syringe here for the terpenes. These are cannabis-derived terpenes that I made in a previous video. Check out the link above to see how to make them. Alright, now we just let it sit and mix. You can add in a stir bar to help mix it more easily. And I would also put something on top just to stop the terpenes from escaping. it's done mixing, you can just load it up into a syringe and fill it into the cart. Now, in addition to the standard Pax pod that you can just refill that you've purchased, I sell empty Pax Era Pods at cartonpod.com. And they have ceramic style wicks instead of the normal wick on here. They're much easier to work with as they're already open, so I'll be filling some of these as well. While your distillate's still hot, just when you want to fill it, it'll be a lot easier to pull into the syringe. Then simply insert the syringe into the hole and fill it up. You might have to wait for it to transfer over to the other side, so I'll leave that for now while I fill the other ones. It's much easier to fill these empty pods as they have 2 open fill ports, one on each side that you can use. And you simply throw the cap on. It's that easy. You want to make sure your oil stays hot so it's easier to work with. Don't pull too much into the syringe like I just did, or it'll cool down and it'll be hard to push out. If you do that, you can just try and force it out and then re-pull in some hot oil. This one doesn't look like it's transferring over, so I'm just going to rip off the other rubber plug and I'll fill in through that hole as well. There you go. Once you've got it filled up, just throw the cap back on. It should snap back into place. You can first try and put the rubber plugs back in as well if you like. They can be really hard to get in there though. So once you pull them out, they're not really meant to go back in the other direction. But the cap should hold them in place. And that's it. That's how you refill some Pax Era Pods. So once again, if you want to get some empty ones, check out cartonpod.com. Purchasing them will help support my channel. I only sell the empty pods, not any filled with the distillate here. And these are all compatible with the Pax Era and Pax Era Pro.